Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have another discussion. It's becoming more and more clear that the Hoyoverse community is reaching a boiling point when it comes to being absolutely insane and absolutely irrational. What you're seeing on my screen over here is likely a topical area that many individuals aren't actually very comfortable talking about. But I'm just going to make a disclaimer up front. I'm not going to be talking about politics in here. I'm not even going to be mentioning names in here. We're going to be taking the lens that I think is the right lens to be examining in this situation of another Hoyoverse VA getting canceled. So let's get some context over here. So we got the Augusta Wuwa Daily account, I think, posting this over here. Why do Hoyo players just find reasons to harass VAs of their own favorite game? And of course, right, this is the post that it's referencing to. C6R5 Kira, more like C6R5 loser. Let's keep reading. Instead of harassing Skirk's VA over nothing, let's shift our attention to Aglaea's English VA, who literally follows Prime Minister of a country. Right? Again, like I said, this isn't going to get political. Just pretend the name isn't necessarily there. She also follows the President of the United States and the owner of Twitter. This post has a lot of upvotes. But one thing that you'll see as you're going through all the replies in this thread is something pretty simple. That's all it is. This individual is simply following accounts. They're not making any actual posts in support or against whatever is going on in this part of the world. If you look at the actual account that is being referenced over here, what do you see? Gameplay. Professional headshots. Advertisements for the games and the animes that they voice in. Absolutely nothing related to any of the topical areas that are naturally being hurled around as accusations over here. Fellas, what's clear over here is that Aglaea's VA is just a professional, right? Posting about their work on Twitter, doing all of that. You want to know what else you do on Twitter? Twitter's also a place, especially in the big 2025, where you get news on what's going on in the world. There's a reason why Elon Musk bought the platform, because it essentially became a news platform over time. And how else do you get the news on certain situations, or how do you get it first, unless you're following the situation? And when you look and see that it's just prominent figures of the world that are getting followed over here, and absolutely no evidence at all that there's any support of like different policies or different supports or whatever, what conclusion are we jumping to right now? This person is just going ahead, looking at the follow list of a bunch of different VAs, and then creating reasons to go harass and cancel people. Because this is the thing. You don't know why Aglaea's English VA is following these people. Are they following because they're in support? Maybe. Are they following just because they want news? Maybe. Do you know enough to make a conclusion that you should go shift your attention to somebody and then start trying to ruin their career? No, that's not enough. And this is my take on the community right now. And I've actually had to have some conversations with my chat prior to this video. If following somebody is the same as an endorsement in your eyes, you probably have a disability. If you're going ahead and you're saying the simple act of following somebody means that you support every single thing that they're saying, you support every single thing that they're into, get therapy. Saint from the future over here. So while I was on the topic of, telling individuals to seek therapy or get some help, here's a prime example of it. You've already seen my explanation regarding the situation, but somebody's got ahead, just decided to take a screenshot of the stream and then just call me one of these. And let's just be entirely real here. That's not even close to anything that we've covered the prior day. So, yeah, here's just another live example for all of you. Who could have thought? Always the Hoyo community, isn't it? And here's another example, ladies and gentlemen. Save for the future again. We've got the daily rare account from Gensino Impacto saying that Tencent is actually the one behind everything that I'm saying right now. I'm actually a shadow covert operative, and I'm Tencent's mouthpiece in the West. I guess that's the new narrative, and they sent me on a mission to go defend Aglaea's VA. Brother, these guys are so mentally ill, it's crazy. And if you're at the point where you're going ahead and you're deciding to jump on a bandwagon, because there's 11K people on this bandwagon, off of this is just, you don't even know any of the context over here, and there's nothing on her page that would list anything. You're in the mindset of ruining somebody's career or trying to ruin somebody's life when you don't even know what they're doing and why. Because guess what, guys? What are the chances that I could look at? I'm scared of opening this profile. You know what? I'm gonna open it in a new. I'm gonna go double check this tab real fast. Sorry, I'm gonna go double check this tab real fast because I feel like this person's gonna post some disease shit. Let me just look over here. Give me 1 second. Sorry for showing the better game. Oh, I wish I did it now. I wish I did it now. Oh dear. Yeah, nope. This the wrong one to look at. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one to look at. It's all porn. It's all porn. Okay, yeah, we won't look at that one. Chances are you could look at any tweet made by somebody on your follow list, right? And there's likely going to be a controversial figure there. There's likely going to be somebody, right, that's following a PewDiePie, following a Destiny, following a Hassan, following, for some people, a Tectone. Does that mean that everybody who's following any of those figures supports every single thing that those people have said or that those people have done? If I'm working at McDonald's and I follow Burger King, does that mean that I'm betraying McDonald's? That I'm trying to sabotage McDonald's? Or am I trying to follow Burger King as a McDonald's manager because I want to stay up to date on their marketing, get some intel on them, stay up to date on the new deals that they have so I can come up with my own competing ones? You don't know why anybody is following anybody. And until they make it clear why they're following an account, it could literally be just for news. It could be for competitive intelligence. It could be for literally any reason under the sun. But following somebody does not mean that you're endorsing them or their behavior. You want to know who I follow, guys? I follow Mr. Pokey. You want to know why I followed Mr. Pokey? It's so I can stay up to date on the next time he pushes out a retarded tweet, calling players greedy and stupid, and that power creep is their fault and not the developer's fault. That's why I follow him. So I have a front row seat to the next time he says dumb shit like this. You want to know who else I'm following? Ryuku Sensei. So I can catch the next time that this guy crashes out over beating his meat. I want to have a front row seat for the next set of dumb fucking things that you know this guy is going to say. That doesn't mean I support all the dumb shit he says. It doesn't mean that I think you're greedy and stupid too. It's because I'm following for news updates on these creators. There's a probability that this person is following these accounts for the same reason. And one thing you know for certain is that nobody knows enough about this full story to get to any conclusions about whether or not somebody should be canceled, about whether or not somebody should have their career ruined. Because guess what, guys? You don't know why anybody is doing any of these things. Well, now you know why I follow Mr. Pokey. Now you know why I follow Ryuku Sensei. Following is not an endorsement. An endorsement is something that you have to make yourself. And when this community is at the point where they're making that the narrative, that following somebody is enough to endorse all of their behavior, well then guess what, guys? I hope C6R5 Kira, we can't hold them accountable just for what they say. Guys, we're gonna have to hold them accountable for all of these accounts. All of these accounts over here. And so, if you do want to take the Hoyo Show perspective, guys, if any of the 170 accounts that C6R5 Kira is following does anything bad, this person's in direct support of them. Because following is an endorsement. But maybe it's a rules for thee, not for me sort of moment over here. And that's kind of how it is for the Hoyoverse community, right? Because there's a couple of things that I want to reference. They're saying, instead of harassing Skirk's VA over nothing, it's so ironic that they're talking about that. Because Skirk's VA, right, ladies and gentlemen? Why is this like fucking... Oh, it's because we're... Why is this like resetting? What the fuck is this? So when Skirk's VA got canceled back in the day, right? Because she promoted a crack ship between her and her IRL partner. That was nothing. But then simply following an account and never having a public endorsement, never talking about it at all. You don't know the reason why. That's suddenly a reason. And this is the thing. When you realize that this community is filled with stupid children, it becomes a lot more clear how all this stuff happened. Right? You got this incident over here where you have HSR players publicly demanding the expiration of Xiao Ji because Cyrene held hands with the male trailblazer. This is the same community on Twitter that's doing this. Then you have other members of the Hoyoverse community going ahead blaming Wuthering Waves for a ZZZ VA getting canceled over a GIF. Oh wait, we already covered that. It was the ZZZ players that did that. And so now we can kind of see what's going on. These VAs have essentially become the mental punching bag of these losers. You want to know why? They're just looking for a human target for the frustrations and the clear sorrows that they have in their day-to-day life. And you want to know the only human voices these individuals are hearing? It's the ones in game, because you know they're not talking to anybody in real life. And so, probably, all they do is just hear all of these HSR characters talking in their ears. All they hear are the fucking voice lines from the playable units. And so they're taking out their frustrations on them. Maybe this person lost 50-50 on the Aglaea banner. Who fucking knows? But at this point, it is unreal how much harassment these VAs are tanking because these mentally ill freaks can't get therapy. And now let's context switch a little bit, because we'll talk about the one time where the Wuthering Waves community canceled a VA. This is why the Wuthering Waves community canceled a VA. Because Female Rover's VA admitted in multiple apologies that an individual in China was doxxed because of their actions. They admitted in multiple documented apologies. That's what happened. Their actions led to somebody getting doxxed, unintentionally or not. And that's why she got fired. And that's the one incident of harassment that the Wuthering Waves community has done towards a VA. But guess what? When you got the VA themselves telling you that they're the reason why somebody got doxxed, seems pretty justified to ask that they get canned, that they get replaced. But of course, right? Anything to make the Hoyoverse community look better. If you make a new Twitter account, it auto-follows Elon. No, they gotta be, they gotta be a full support. I guess everyone's a full supporter of Elon's policies then. Hey, I guess if you make a Twitter account, that means you fully endorse him. If that's the logic that we're gonna go with. Like I said before, this isn't about politics. This isn't about the conflict or whatever you're seeing on the screen over here when it comes to these individuals. It's about a community of unhinged freaks deciding to cancel somebody, deciding to try to ruin somebody's career over following another person. They don't know why somebody's getting followed. They don't know if somebody's just going there for news updates. They have no idea. There's no evidence. There's no proof. There's no actual condemning facts about this situation other than they're following another person. Nobody knows why. But they're all on a train to end Aglaea's VA's career off of, essentially, this. And let's just be honest, guys. If you're going to be held accountable for every single account that you have followed on social media, we're all criminals. We are all criminals if we're held accountable for every account that we have followed on social media. But I guess that's the lens that these Hoyo shill idiots are going with right now. Hope one of your friends in high school don't end up committing a crime, bucko, because you're going to jail too. Assuming that's the world that these guys lived in. Sounds a lot like 1984, doesn't it? And if the situation evolves, right, and you go ahead and you start seeing public endorsements or whatever getting tossed around, then feel free to go ahead and react in the way that you want. But acting with no information at all, when there are plenty of reasons for why this following can be happening, if that's what you're doing, I think you're being insanely irrational and are one of the most toxic individuals that can be in the space. That'll be that for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a potentially divisive topic, but like I said before, we tried our best to make sure that we brought in a lot of real-world examples, even gotcha in-game examples, to show you that this line of reasoning isn't because of politics. It's because this person... There's so many things I could say. I'm just going to call them low IQ. That'll be that. Let me know what you all thought. Peace. Oh yeah, make sure to keep politics out of the YouTube comments. I don't want to hear none of this shit. Because let's talk about what's in the video. And we don't talk about politics in the video. Peace.